leaving the realm of darkness. The paranormal guys are on a quest to find the answers to the hard questions of where the normal meets the paranormal and the weird, and where the natural meets the unnatural. So grab your holy water, call your mama, and get ready for the Paranormal Guys podcast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, brother.
Wow.
Paranormal Guys is back, Steve.
We're back for a new episode.
Another
A
episode.
very dreamy episode.
Very dreamy.
Yes.
Today's date, ladies and gentlemen, is 4/17/2024. Tonight's episode, or today's, however you're going to listen to it on all the streaming things that we have. You can also go to Graveside Paranormal on YouTube, as well as the Paranormal Guys and all your streaming outlets, and enjoy this fine feast of interview.
Information.
Information, yes.
Yeah.
Brother.
And humor. Sometimes.
Yep. Sometimes. If I'm in the mood.
Yep.
Well, today we're going to be talking with Mindy and Brooke from Remelations. Really nice girls. We met them a couple of years ago. They were doing their podcast called Remelations.
They were in their pajamas when we met them.
Yeah, when we first met them, and yeah, they were in their pajamas. That's it's your shit.
It's a true story.
It's a true story. It's a true story. What they are is they do dream interpretation. You dream your dream and you go, wow, what the hell was that? What the meaning was that? Mm-hmm. Well, they two ladies, Mindy and Brooke, they try to help you interpret it with a little comedy to it.
Yeah.
A little bit of fun side to it. It's really nice. I recommend that you listen to it. They make it like it's a sleepover, and they talk about your dreams, my dreams, anybody else's dreams, and how they can interpret it. Me and Steve really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I've added them to my podcast list. I've been listening to them quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Great show. Remelations, folks.
Yeah, we're supposed to hopefully be on theirs. Maybe they'll reach out to us. I know we're not cool yet.
No. Maybe we can just dream about it.
Dream about it. We'll just keep dreaming.
If you're listening, ladies.
If you're listening.
Man
of your dreams. And they're like, oh my God.
No.
Lord. Dear Lord. Somebody hit that boy with the ugly stick. All right. So what's new with you, Steve?
Well, I've been dreaming a lot. I put up there's a little story during the podcast interview about Cage Boy. I don't know if anybody I used to work with back in the day.
Oh yeah.
With that, yeah. I had some fun with. I used to work at a travel agency selling foreign currency, and we get into that in the podcast. But I thought I'd throw this up as a little joke. For those listening, I got my name on the screen as Steve, aka Cage Boy. Basically, you're asking me what's new. It's kind of one of those 2 weeks where it's been nose to the grindstone, just working, doing our thing, but also doing my work thing. And I've been learning some new technology, Neil. Yeah. So just kind of been busy guy.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm doing all right. I've been busy because I'm going full throttle of figuring out the new season of what Graveside Paranormal is going to be doing. I have a couple really cool ideas, very new and different for us anyways, that we are going to present, that hopefully I will present to people within the next couple of months. And it's something I really, really, I'm going to put a lot more hard work into presenting to you the best entertainment we can when we do our tours this year.
Now, I'm not going to give away anything, but Neil, you've been sharing the stuff with me, and all I can say for the folks listening is I'm very excited about this.
Yeah,
what you've got planned is super exciting, and I think folks are going to love it.
Yeah, and hopefully very, very soon I'm going to be able to tell a little bit more about it. It's all about timing. In the tour company field, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about timing. All right. And
timing and good looks.
And damn, I got both, baby.
Oh, boy.
Dear Lord. Only his mama loves him.
but
All
only
right,
only for a minute.
at least for a minute until she puts him back under the water. Oh,
Yeah. Then oxytocin wore off, and she's like, "Let me slap him too, doctor."
oh, dear Lord, dear Lord.
they when you were born, the doctor slapped you, and they passed you around the hospital, and they all slapped you, right?
They probably did. They probably said, "You know, that's going to be a wicked boy. That's going to be a wicked one, boy." All right. With that being said, having to insult myself, let's
Nice.
get into the news, young Steven.
Let's do the news.
All right, Steve. Weird news. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first today?
You could throw me up first if you want.
All right, then. Do you have anything up on the
I
board?
do. I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is a little story that comes out of Istanbul, Turkey. Well, a woman dips out of the hospital after plastic surgery to avoid paying.
What? Oh,
um,
so she left the hospital. I got it. Got it.
yeah, the kids call it dip. Anyway, she snuck out of the hospital just hours after undergoing plastic surgery in order to avoid having to pay for the procedure. She probably figured, hey, they'll never find me. I look different. The incident reportedly took place last week at a private hospital in Istanbul, uh, in the Sicily neighborhood, and was captured on camera by passerbyers because the doctors they caught up with her. In her, for those who are watching, there's a little picture of the lady with her little headgear on. She looks like she had plastic surgery. She doesn't look quite human. A little uncanny valley look to her. Anyway, they caught up to her, and she's covered in bandages and
Yeah.
visibly swollen. And
Yeah, and she looks like, like from Scrooge movie, Marley, who comes in and he's wrapped up, to keep his
yeah,
mouth shut. That's what she
right.
looks like there.
Can you imagine that?
So I've
Um,
heard of people dipping out, like on maybe a dinner at a restaurant,
yeah,
not paying the check. But this lady's I don't think she realizes she's gonna need some Motrin.
she's gonna need some Motrin. And what happens if, like, it doesn't heal right? And what happens if
Yeah.
they really screwed up? You can't like turn around and do anything about it after that. I mean, I guess you can go find another plastic surgeon to fix you.
Here's my take on everybody who goes and gets plastic surgery. This is just Neil saying this, okay?
Hmm.
Number one, be happy with who you are. Okay. Learn
Yes.
to be happy with with yourself. I mean, we're all different, man. Some are tall, some are short, some are fat, some are skinny, some are built. You are what you are. Learn to like yourself. It's a
Have you
very
seen
important.
Megan Fox?
No, that's a hot
Bro,
chick.
you remember how she used to look, right?
I-
She used to look kind of nice.
What was she? I haven't seen her recently. No, I haven't. I don't pay attention to her, but I remember her being. Oh my lord, dear
She
lord.
used to be kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
Let
So
me get a picture for you. What happened? She had some plastic surgery, and again, folks, if you're watching this,
I
you're
understand, and I understand if you have to have plastic surgery. Let's say someone punched you in the nose. You want to fix your nose. You don't want to look like a person with a broken nose. I
well,
understand that stuff. But when you take, for instance, some of these, you remember the one lady called the Lion Lady? She was a very pretty model and
Catwoman or
Catwoman. Right? Yeah. And she,
didn't
oh
she
my,
play like Catwoman on the Batman show?
no,
Or
no. That was Eartha Kitt. Um, and Julie Newmar.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
So
just,
who's this cat lady?
So this lady here was she was a model, very pretty lady, man, pretty girl in 1970s or 80s, I think 80s, and she got obsessed like many people do uh with plastic surgeries, and it went really wrong. Like there's this
Mhm.
guy out there, I believe it's two brothers,
Okay.
two really good looking guys, man. These two guys, two very handsome looking guys, and they continued on going and putting all this plastic surgery, and they got these big jaws and this and that. They look like
Right.
something out of uh, what was that movie with Kurt Russell, the part two, Escape from New York 2, or Escape from
Right.
LA. That's the way it looked. I mean, it was just crazy looking.
So I want to show you kind of like a before and after scenario here.
Mhm.
1 second here. You remember Megan Fox, right? Remember her from remember this little scene from a movie called Transformers?
Oh yeah, dear Lord,
She was kind of, decent looking, right? Not that looks like
decent. God,
hey, I don't want to
behave, Neil, behave.
the microphone, okay? I'm trying to keep my excitement down. It was nice. So there's her now. She's that's Taylor Swift and her little boyfriend, and there's a guy up there. I forget who he is. Who cares? And then she's giving the peace sign. That's Megan Fox now
Yeah,
after surgery. Look at those lips. Doesn't she look a little like?
yeah. That's someone who's. I mean, you can
eh,
tell he had work done because look at them cheekbones now.
Yeah, it's just like you said, you're given something,
You got some wholesome good looks.
right, and then you go and not screw it up, change it all.
Wait 20 years. Wait 20 more years, and if she gets obsessed with it, she's going to look horrible. But
Madonna did that too, didn't she?
Madonna did that. This lady I'm telling you about, the tiger lady or lion lady, whatever the heck her name
Michael
is,
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Not to say now listen, if you had plastic surgery and you're listening to this, look, we love you and we're not making fun, but I guess what we're saying is wherever you're at, there's a lot more than looks. Looks aren't everything.
No,
Um, but and the other moral to the story is if you do go ahead and change your looks, if you do go and get plastic surgery, even if they really mess it up, and Neil, I didn't swear, they mess it up. Don't dip out of the hospital. Don't sneak out. You're gonna get caught. It's
yeah,
just not gonna look good.
and
They're gonna
that
take
face is gonna
pictures of
blow
your
up.
swollen face, and
Yeah.
yeah, and that's how everybody will remember you. Anyway,
Once again, that's a public message from Steven Lineweber.
that's right.
All you people out there with swollen faces, go back to the hospital.
Yeah,
Go
go back
back
to the
and get them
hospital.
drugs. They're giving them out. Dang it.
Pay your bill.
Pay your bill, though. Pay your bill.
Anyway,
All right. So here's my little news story. Where is my little picture? Here it is. All right. From Coast to Coast AM, reporter T.K. Randall. An unreleased video reportedly exists that shows a unknown object interfering with a nuclear missile. I've heard of stories like this before.
yeah, I've heard of that too.
I've heard of the stories. But according to reports, the tape, which was filmed in California on September 15th, 1964, was viewed by U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Bob Jacobs and Major Florence Mansman, who were part of a team that has been tasked with recording missile test launches using special equipment. The video itself, which has not been released to the public, allegedly shows a saucer-shaped craft circling what is believed to be an unarmed dummy missile. It can be seen firing some sort of laser beam at the missile, apparently disabling it. In a letter, Mansman later described the object as a classic disc. The center seemed to be a raised bubble. The entire lower saucer shape was glowing and seemed to be rotating slowly. At the point of being released, the object turned like an object required to be in position to fire from a platform. But again, this could be my own assumption from being in aerial combat, he added. After Jacobs and Mansman had viewed the tape, two plainclothes CIA agents apparently attended the scene, confiscated the footage, and swore both of the men to absolute secrecy. As part of this, Hastings revealed that Luis Elizondo, former director of Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP, had also claimed to have seen this video. So there's more people who have seen it. The former AATIP director confirmed the existence of the video, the details regarding what is showed, and the location of the copy of in AATIP's workspaces, Hastings wrote. Without access to the video itself, however, it's impossible to corroborate any of these claims. So supposedly there is a video out there, just like there's a video out there of supposedly aliens of being from saucer crashes where we've been able to take them to sites like, we'll say, Area 51. That's the most known name. But there's supposed some video, and hopefully maybe sometime in the future we'll be able to see something like that. So that would be really, really cool to be able to have,
Now, the article said CIA agents came up.
Yeah.
They weren't CIA. The Men in Black are not
Maybe the Men in
CIA.
Black. Well, let me go back on this one here, Steve. Yeah. Had viewed the tape too plain clothes. Nobody said anything about Men in Black.
Okay.
CIA agents reportedly attended the scene, confiscated the footage, and swore both of the men absolute secrecy. Well, apparently that didn't work.
Okay. Yeah, we won't say anything.
Yeah, we won't say anything. Yeah.
And then they told the news people, and thus the article was born.
Yeah.
They lied.
They lied.
To the government.
The government? Deceit? No, not them.
Have you ever lied to the CIA?
I've never talked to anybody. No, I take that back. I did talk to the person of the CIA once.
Oh, yeah?
I don't want to talk to any of those people.
No?
No, hell no, man.
They seem nice.
I don't want trouble. Yeah.
They're not supposed to interfere with domestic things.
I don't interfere. I don't do domestics. I don't do domestics.
That's a cool story. I'm glad that the aliens are disabling the nukes, because there's like space nukes now. I heard.
Now, here's the thing: it says in the article it was a dummy missile.
Yeah.
So what did they know? It disabled it if it's a dummy missile.
Well, maybe they were dummy aliens.
Maybe, Stephen. Maybe
not all aliens. Can you imagine some aliens are probably not as bright as the other aliens?
Well, there's many of humans who are not like that either. So
they just got like I don't know, like maybe they were like a special hire.
You have like an Ernest alien.
What do you? Oh yeah, like Ernest from
Ernest.
Yeah,
or one of those guys,
or a Forrest Gump.
Or a Forrest Gump. Hey, you never know. All right. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, next we have Remelations. Stand by and dream a good dream tonight. And as always, boo.
Now, back to the Paranormal Guys podcast.
All right, Steve, we're back. Tonight.
We are back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. Yes, we are. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about dream interpretation. We met two ladies at what was it? Dark Matters.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, about 2 years ago. We in the Elgin area. We met them. They were another podcast that was out there. It's called Remelations.
Yes.
This is a podcast that deals with dream interpretation, as well as a comedy aspect to it, an entertaining thing where these two ladies, they give their own interpretation. People email them in certain stories about their dreams, and then they try to interpret it. And it's in a funny, and I've listened to quite a few of these episodes. My wife has actually listened to them. She enjoys them.
Same here.
It's very, very entertaining. So I want to welcome in at this time, Mindy and Brooke.
Right. I'm bringing them alphabetical. Brooke and Mindy.
Hey,
there we go.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
We did have a great time at that Dark Matters Festival. That was a really
I don't think they're having it this year. I think they were going to, but I don't think they're going to be having it this year. I haven't got anything from them.
Oh, we talked to Nick, so you might want to reach out.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. I saw something, but I haven't seen it again. Are you girls going to be out there again?
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
What month is it?
It's the end of
February. Yeah, so about a month
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
About a month
Okay,
away.
so it's like at the last weekend of February?
The 24, was it 24th?
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about
24th.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have another one I have to do.
Yeah.
It was fun hanging out with you last year, though.
Yeah, we had a great time with your spirit box.
Yeah, you guys were talking to the spirit box.
Yes, yes, we did.
And I think you guys got some replies. I don't remember
We-
what they were, but
We did get replies, and the video, our friend was videoing it, and then the camera turned off right when it was
stopped working.
It just stopped working right when it was starting to say stuff to us.
We've had that happen
Yes.
before, where all of a sudden we would be recording something, and it was something that was just spectacular, right?
Of course.
right.
And for whatever reason, something would die out. It was crazy.
It's like it was made by Tesla.
Too cold. It's too cold.
Speaking of that, how about what just happened with all this snow and this below zero weather? All these Teslas or electric cars,
Mhm.
they're all going out.
Stranded.
Yep.
Yeah, what kind of warranty is that, man?
Yeah.
That's why you got to move to a warmer state, and it's
Yeah.
not Chicago for sure.
Yeah, just
yeah.
avoid the Midwest altogether.
Man, it has been cold. Like today, it's definitely cold out, man. But
Oh gosh.
so I wanted to bring you ladies on. Me and Steve wanted to bring you guys on, ladies, and talk about dreams. And first off, Mindy and Brooke, you've known each other since childhood. Am I correct?
Yes,
We
a
were
long
about
time.
14 years old when we met in gym class in high
Yep.
school.
Oh wow.
What high school did you guys go to?
We went to Wahlert High School, which is in Dubuque, Iowa.
It's a good Catholic
You
high
know,
school.
good
You know,
Catholic
fun.
school where we met gym class, and so 30 years later, here we are.
Brilliant. And
Oh,
when
wow.
you girls were doing that, did you guys already right off the bat start talking about dreams, or how did that happen?
Almost
Pretty much.
immediately.
Pretty much.
Almost.
I've always been a vivid dreamer my whole life. I think
Mhm.
the first dream I remember, I was about 5 years old. And so today, I still remember dreams very vividly. So I remember going into the cafeteria and sitting at our little lunch table and be like, Brooke, I had the craziest dream last night. I was flying on a carpet. I met David Duchovny. And she'd be like, and so, yeah, this has been,
jealous.
I know, it's been one of those things that has always been a part of our friendship.
and,
Really?
Now, was Brooke like,
paranormal stuff too. Like, you know, as teenagers do, we would talk about dreams, have sleepovers, and then, you know, try
Use the
to
weed
do seances. And my dad thought we were smoking a bunch of weed because we had a bag of sage.
oh, wow.
So we've been interested in all basically since the beginning of our
Mhm.
friendship.
Yeah, and like dreams, you know, they say it's a doorway to the souls
Mm-hmm.
of our connection of people who come to us. Our dreams of lost loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
other people from somehow we can do some kind of astral projection outside,
Yeah.
and maybe
Mhm.
we might be dreaming with someone else. Have you girls ever? Now, of course, you've had sleepovers, right?
Plenty.
Yeah.
Many
Yes.
times as kids.
Still today.
Now,
Still
did you
today.
ever? Did you ever have one where you both dreamt the same thing?
Actually, no.
No.
What an interesting question.
I have had the same dream as my niece before
Mhm.
on the same night. We live in different states. Same room we were walking in, same circumstances. Just happened to text her the next morning and being like, "Hey, Lucia, you know, I had this crazy dream about you," and she told me the other half of the dream I had. So I've had it with family members. I think the last time Brooke and I were had a sleepover, I was talking in my sleep though.
Yeah.
Yes. What did I say to you when I was like, I forget what it was, but it was more kind of
No more
mumbling.
Jack Daniels, whatever.
Yeah,
No
no
more
more
Jack
Jack.
Daniels.
Brooke, go get me some more Jack.
Well,
Well,
When
and-
did you decide to start like, hey, that dream means this? Like, when did that start? Like right away, like right when you're like, I dreamt about David Duchovny, and then Brooke is like, oh, just you want to believe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
Right.
want to believe. I totally wanted to
Right.
believe. And so I think it kind of started like that, where I'd get excited, where she'd come in and, you know, I was like in a creative writing class at the time. I'm like, oh, you know what that could mean? And that she's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And this, I mean, it just kind of became conversational at some point where it's like, it kind of all fell together.
And it just took us 30 years to realize that we should have an outlet for this. And so we
You
created
know.
a podcast.
We're slow learners.
Right. So my third grade was the best 5 years of my life.
That's the fun thing about it is everyone dreams. So it's a podcast, a topic to have a show about that is relatable to everyone. Whether
Yeah.
you
Right.
remember them or not, everyone does dream. And so we have never ending content, we say.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I've had a lot of crazy dreams throughout my life, and I'm sure a lot of other people have, of course. Now I was when we were off air for a minute. I told you I was going to bring up this subject. Okay,
Okay.
so now I'm going to ask you a question.
All the
about
boys and girls, close your ears.
Close your
Mothers,
ears.
fathers, don't let the kids hear
Neil's going to
this.
be naughty.
Ooh, I'm excited now.
No, so I for the first time I did one of those gummies, right? But I only did a
Mhm.
half a gummy, which was probably
Which is
a
good.
smart move to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you
And-
mean by gummy?
Um,
So
um,
that-
a marijuana enhanced
Cannabis.
gummy. Am
An
I wrong?
edible.
Oh.
An
Edible. I'm
edible.
sorry, edible. Yeah. So I did that, and after watching a Jim Carrey movie and laughing my ass off, like I've never seen it before. It was just ridiculous humor, and I noticed that that's one of the side effects to it. That this uncontrollable laughing. I mean, just stupid, you know.
What a good choice to watch,
Yes.
though, while you're high is a Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah. So
which one did you watch?
Yes.
which one did I watch? Oh,
Okay.
where he becomes God. What's the name of it?
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty. So I'm
Yes.
watching
Oh, okay.
Bruce Almighty, and I'm like, oh my god, and I could not stop laughing at the stupidest things,
Of course.
and
do it
especially
to
the end cuts that they put out there. So I put that.
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
So enough about my ridiculousness about that, but so I start closing my eyes, and I feel myself dreaming or feeling like I'm going into a tube, like everything is forward, and I'm feeling the flush of blood, the blood rush.
The wind through your hair, Neil?
Yeah, you know, and that's
I
why I
can
lost the
feel
damn
this
thing.
strange breeze on my head for some reason.
So I'm feeling like the blood just flowing, and I'm like this, and at the same time, I'm in this dream where I'm feeling like my head is melting.
Ooh.
Now I'm sure
Wow.
this was something that was bought at one of these regular places. This wasn't born off of 63rd and Kedzie. Wasn't bought
That's
on 63rd and Kedzie. This was, from one of these shops that have these things. So what is it that I'm dreaming that my head is melting in blood and it feels like I'm going through a tube?
Was it a dream or was it?
I don't know.
Being
It felt
high.
like- I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both. This is supposed to enhance your dreaming and your relaxation.
Yeah.
So, what do you girls think?
Well, I think we need you to do it again to see if the
Right.
results are
Scientifically.
if it was you actually awake feeling this or if this was an actual dream.
Right.
But either way, I mean, it feels like to me you're being pushed forward outside of your comfort zone and you are kind of confined into this area because you're not exactly sure what to do with it yet.
Now, Neil, you did mention you just recently retired, right?
Yes.
So is it a projection into a new area of your life? You're feeling now all the opportunities in front of you have opened up and you're just kind of like it's shifting you through that kind of next stage of your life.
Maybe so. I felt so weird, like my head was melting, and I don't know why.
Was it in a good way or a bad way?
Yeah.
No, that
Was
sounds
it
like
like a
It was
meltdown,
warm. It was like
or-
warm and felt good. It's
okay.
like, yeah.
Okay.
It's just
It's almost and it almost sounds not to be like too on the money, but it almost sounds like a rebirth. You're like kind of being pushed through kind of a birthing canal, so to speak. Out, your head's being squished. It's warm, and you're coming out to the light to your new chapter in life.
Did you
that
cry
is
after?
weird, man.
Like
Did you cry?
loudly?
Did someone spank your bottom?
You get spanked?
Like 3 hours later, me and the wife,
Then he was really crying.
Well, that's one thing we say about dream interpretation is that it really we can give our comedic interpretation of it, but it really the dreamer themselves is the one who can best analyze their dream. Is just take a step
Right.
back, see where you are in your life and what symbols are talking to you. We just have fun with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Neil, do you have any idea what your dream might mean?
No.
I love it. Love
I
the
would.
honesty.
Because the reason why is and I'm not lying to you, I never did a drug my whole life. I never did. I drank, and then I stopped
Alcohol's a
drinking
drug.
2 years ago.
Oh,
And what's
thank
that?
you, Steve.
Yeah.
What did you say, Steve?
Alcohol's a drug.
Oh yeah.
We should,
Well,
we should put on our dare shirts to do this.
Yes.
Caffeine's a drug. Tylenol.
all
Okay.
right.
You're talking about a psychoactive. You haven't had a psychoactive chemical, right?
No,
Okay.
nothing like that. I've never had it. I never did it. I was never interested in it. But then
Mhm.
I recently came across it, and I said, "What the hell? Why not? Let's do it. Let's see what happens." So that's what
See,
happened.
Would you
once you
do
let
it
the
again?
devil in. No, I'm just kidding.
So originally, all right. So it's funny that you say that, Brooke. Would I do it again? Originally, I told my wife I would not do it again because I like being in control of myself.
Mhm.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
what does my dumb self do today? I'm bored right now because
Are you saying you're high right now, Neil?
no. So I'm bored because I'm retired and it's winter time. There's nothing really to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Target and I bought some Valentine's Day candy, and then
Nice.
I went and bought the game Operation.
Oh,
Oh,
you,
I
you're
hate
setting
that game.
you're setting yourself up for a nice high night. I mean, candy and Operation.
That would throw me into a tizzy. I
Yeah.
hate that game.
So I told my wife, I go,
It's
hey,
not going to end well.
I go, do you want to do this again
Operation.
tomorrow night? You want to do that gummy thing again tomorrow night? Let's play Operation.
Why that game? That would scare me
I
so
don't
much.
know. I don't know. I just felt
Just
Get
like
that game Perfection, where
Oh,
all the
that's
oh,
pieces
awesome.
we're
jump
like
out at you.
the mousetrap. But
Mouse.
you
Mouse-
know what?
Oh.
You'll never be able to set it up high. Never ever. You
Not gonna
can't set
happen.
up mousetrap dead sober, let alone high.
Get a
so yeah,
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, there
yeah,
you
or
go. Just
Rubik's
like,
Cube. Yeah.
Entertainment for hours.
oh.
Magic
Yeah,
8
so I
Ball.
thought that would be a good entertainment thing if I was to do it again. And it's just because you're bored. It's the weekend.
Yeah.
But I probably shouldn't do it.
Let us know how it goes.
I do want to
Yeah.
know how it goes. But also you picked a game, you don't have to think too much. It's just gonna be like motor
Mhm.
skills, and you're gonna be like, ah! I think a lot of laughing is going to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
Until
Steve,
the little guy on the table comes to life.
Yeah.
in
Spits
my
out.
head, he gets up. He's just going,
He's like,
"Man, why are you touching me?"
take out my pancreas, Neil.
You're gonna have to sneak over there, Steve, and like just be under the table, be like, ow!
Ow!
My Adam's
Don't touch
apple.
me there.
What the hell is a bread basket?
Oh, that's hilarious. Ow!
Don't touch my bread basket. That's not my wishbone. Okay.
See? We're already having
So-
fun, and he's not even playing it yet.
I'm not even
Yep.
done. I haven't taken a gummy yet. Wow. So, Steve, do you have a dream for the ladies that
Oh boy.
you need some interpretation on? I have a couple more, by the way. So, if I want
boy.
those,
Or even the first dream you ever remember.
I remember.
Let Steve go first.
Let me tell you. So I'm one of those people who remember dreams from years ago. maybe
You got
decades
to
ago.
hear this one dream of his.
boy.
It's unbelievable.
Dreaming's like a second life
Mhm.
for me. I close
Awesome.
my eyes and it continues a lot of times.
I
There's
love that.
there's a theme, and maybe you can help me understand this. I have a kind of a recurring theme,
Mhm.
and it happens right before I have a lucid dream. It's
Oh,
like the
cool.
thing that makes me go, I'm dreaming.
Mhm.
It starts off where I'm just in a house, and I don't always know the house, but I'll open up a door, and then all of a sudden I remember that this is like this door will go here, this door will go here, and I'm
Cool.
just now I can choose where I'm going to go. And it's usually at that moment that I start floating,
Mhm.
and I go,
Ooh.
"Oh, I'm dreaming."
Yes.
You
Nice.
know?
To be that aware. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's the trigger. And then once that happens, for uh, not all the entire dream, I'll get sucked into the illusion of the dream again. But for a little bit in the dream, I'm like, I'm in control.
Yeah.
And so I know if I walk through this door, I'm going to go to this place in my childhood. If I walk through this
Wow.
door, I'm going to end up at work, and I'm going to not
Don't
get
go
paid
through
for
that door.
that.
Okay.
No,
God.
keep that one closed.
Lock it.
Have- These dreams where you're at work, and you're just doing this
Mm,
monotonous thing, and
yes.
then I hate that. I don't not want to go through those doors. But yeah, and then there's sometimes there's just doors that have never been opened, and
See, I
sometimes
think
I
that's your
walk through those.
challenge, though, Steve. I
Yeah.
think that's the challenge. Now that you can lucid dream, which is something that's pretty rare, I think, for
Yes.
people to be able to do that realization. to get to that part of your consciousness and then push it further by going to those doors you haven't opened yet and see what's in it.
Right.
I think that's the next challenge for you. I think that'd be, don't just make sure it's not the work door. Stay
No.
Yeah.
Go,
Right.
go to the party
If
cruise
it says
door.
employees only, I'm not opening it.
No.
I know it.
I
that's a
feel
trap.
like in how I pictured it, you walking around was
Mhm.
almost like the inside of your own brain, like compartmentalizing your
Mhm.
childhood stuff. Maybe these doors you haven't unlocked is something in the future that you
Mhm.
need to be able to get through this door before. It's almost like a game, like I have to pass this level before I can open this door and find out what's next in my journey. But
Mhm.
since you remember all this stuff and you can control where you're going, what's in your head and where you want to go, but
Mhm.
you can get there, but there's still so many unopened doors to explore yet. So,
Steve, have you
Right.
ever flown? Do you fly in your dreams
Oh yeah.
when you're lucid?
well, he
When
said he floats, right?
Yeah.
When you
so
start to float.
what happens is I'll take a step forward and my foot never lands on the ground and my other foot comes forward. And then I'm like,
Oh.
"Oh, wait a minute. I'm floating." Oh, there's this thing that will also happen before I kind of like really get it that I'm dreaming is I'm telling everybody, "Look what I can do. I
Look
Yeah.
at me.
I can fly. I can," and no one's impressed at all.
Oh,
You know,
those dream
nobody's
randos,
impressed.
they never are.
Those
Yeah.
randos are tough crowd to please. They're like, we've seen this.
And then I get bored of the people who aren't impressed by this because I'm like, wow. And then I go, oh, I'm dreaming.
Now,
Time to have some
one of the
fun.
things we've heard with lucid dreaming is in order to realize you are dreaming, one of the things you can do is look at a clock. So
Mhm.
you look at a clock to see if it makes sense. Sometimes the hands will be all weird, or look at your own
Mhm.
hands. And I've done this to myself. Is I look at my hands, and my fingers are not fingers; they're buildings. And so I'm like, this is definitely a dream. I don't have building hands.
So,
Are you
That's
sure?
interesting.
Yeah.
so Mindy,
Buildings.
I want to ask you, do you meditate a lot?
No,
You don't
I
meditate
have
at all?
I have 6 kids. I have the most stressful,
You have
crazy
6
life you
kids?
can imagine. Yeah. And
Mm.
so I don't really my relaxation is when I'm sleeping, and that's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow,
Isn't
yeah,
that
I
crazy?
can
You think
tell.
she'd
You
be
need
like
a gummy.
really
You
into
need a gummy.
Oh, yay.
So wine's good too.
Are
Well,
your fingers buildings because you're a builder?
No,
Or you
it
build with
doesn't make
them?
sense. Nope. I mean, I am my full-time job, I'm a photographer, so I do use my hands for that to take
Okay.
pictures. So that's an interesting thing. But yeah, they're always like skyscrapers, like not small buildings, just skyscraper hands.
oh wow, weird.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It is. It's different.
So you don't meditate or anything like that, but you're able to analyze and recognize when you're dreaming is because you have so many lucid dreams that you're so used to that world, if I may use the word correctly, that you recognize what's going on. Am I correct on that?
I don't lucid dream very often. I think it's only happened a few times for me, not like Steve. For Steve, it seems like it happens a lot for you. For me,
Mhm.
my dreams are just downright bizarre. But
Yeah,
I
they're just
usually,
crazy.
sometimes I'm aware, but I'm not, I'm dream aware, but I'm not actively participating in my own dream, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So I'll know I'm dreaming, but I still can have control over if I'm going to fly right now. I don't have that. It's
Mhm.
something I'm working on.
Okay.
And I've never had a lucid dream. I don't remember my dreams very often anymore. I used to. So it's
Mhm.
kind of an interesting dynamic between the two of us because she like always remembers her dreams and
Mhm.
I know I'm dreaming, but I just
It's never,
the
it's
second
gone.
the second I wake up, it's gone, and so it's been getting better. I've been remembering
Mhm.
some here or there, but I think one of a big question people ask is how do you dream? Like what person? Do you dream in first person
Mhm.
or a third person? It's like, do you dream like you're seeing it like as it's playing out? Because when I dream, it's like I'm watching it. I'm watching like a movie and I'm like doing this stuff on the screen.
Where I dream more first person.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what about you guys? When you dream, is it third person or first person?
Mostly first person for me.
Okay.
I would guess
There
as a
have been
lucid dreamer, I would.
say mine
Yeah.
is always first person. Yeah, I would say so. Like the dreams, a lot of the dreams that I have actually, I think it's because what me and Steve do is that I have dreams. I've actually had people come to me in dreams,
Yeah.
Mm.
and identify themselves. And we've actually did that. And we were talking about earlier, I think before we even started recording, how like recordings will not function. So what happened one time is I always meditate before I do ghost tours, take people on ghost tours. I have to relax myself because it's not that I'm afraid of it, but I know that I can get attachments, and I don't like feeling sick. You feel like a totally different person.
Yeah.
So I always meditate, and then I fall into a sleep because I just do. And so I fell asleep, and I was on my couch, and in the dream, this young man came to me. His name was Chris, and I could see the full description of him, his hat, his jacket, everything, what he looked like. And he asked me, hey, when you get to the part of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, mention my name and tell everybody I'm okay.
Interesting.
So I woke up and I told my wife what happened. I go, something new and strange that just happened, because weird and strange things just constantly keep happening. And it's weird. So I said, listen, this is what happened. I go, and this spirit is asking me to say something to people. I go, am I going to let batshit? Am I going to let batshit crazy?
And what's his intentions? Are they good intentions? Did you have a feeling if it was good intention or bad intention?
It was a good intention to let them know that he was okay.
Okay.
That was the thing that he wanted me to get across to the individuals. Now I don't know what individuals yet. Okay, so I go there and ask my wife, am I going to look nuts? She goes, yeah, don't do that. She goes, you're nuts as it is. Don't do crazy. Now I didn't tell Steve about this. Okay,
No, not until
I wasn't even going to do it. And then all of a sudden, we're at the back end of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, and I'm doing my scripted thing that I have to tell all the stories. And I keep getting this nudge in the back of my head right around here. Please say I'm okay. So I'm like, oh my God. So this all started off with a dream.
Right, right.
Coming in. That's why I'm bringing up this subject.
Yeah.
And so he comes to me in this dream, and I finally say to these people, listen, I'm going off script here. I have a young man here with me at this time. His name is Chris, such and such. He looks like such and such. He wants me to give a message to someone here today that he's okay. Does this sound familiar to everybody? So this guy raises his hand. He goes, that's my cousin. He just died.
Wow.
And I'm like this. Then after that, what happens with these things, you start taking on all their emotions. So now I got to walk away because tears are going down my eyes.
Oh no.
Because I feel their emotion, because it's like there's a release. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
And this all derived from this dream.
Incredible.
That's so cool though.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's that thin veil, just like they, they talk about right before death, right when you're unconscious. I mean, your body pretty much shuts down except for your mind in that time. So you're more susceptible to bring in spirits, I think, at that point in time. And we've had dreamers that have submitted dreams about, loved ones, premonition dreams. We get a lot of premonition dreams, things like that. Like, don't take this road today. And a dreamer's cousin took the road and got in an accident, like things like that. So it is, I feel like, a very close tie between the paranormal and the dream world.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had like any other type of visitors? I mean, I'm sure with what you do, demons probably have appeared in your dreams, or
sleep paralysis.
So a lot of people get sleep paralysis. Actually, sleep paralysis is a very common thing that happens to people. What sleep paralysis is, there's actually a fine line between what is a natural thing inside your body that's happening and possibly something paranormal or supernatural. There's a fine line between that. I've had cases where people have talked to me where they're in like a hotel or something like that, and it's more than one person getting sleep paralysis in a room. Now, if that's going on, and there's more than one, well, there might be something supernatural, paranormal going on there.
Or a gas leak.
Never slept better.
You know what? Steve, you're absolutely right. Or maybe a gas leak. So yeah, I'll tell you this quick story because I want Steve to tell you ladies a really interesting dream. And I want you to really think about this one and give him the best answer you can. This dream is going to blow your mind. what he's going
Can't
to
wait.
tell you. I
Okay.
guarantee you, you're never going to hear anything like this. At least I'm hoping you've never heard anything like this. But I'll tell you this one thing. So when we go to a place called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a form of possession, I believe, that is going on inside that place, right? And I try not to go there that often. I really try not to. And I used to work midnights, and I'd always take a nap before I go to work, right? So I'm up in my room. It's a summer, like late summer night. And what it is, you can feel these things coming to you like they're moving closer to you. So I felt like something, I was falling asleep, but I feel it, and I feel it coming through the window.
Mm.
And then it goes up on the ceiling, and then I get this uncontrollable shake. Like so scared, and now I'm awake, but this thing is inside my room.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it is in the corner, and it's looking at me. I don't see it, but
Is it more of a feeling than a visual that you're getting?
Yes, it's more of a see, like I'm an empath, so I feel these things, and I am able to hear certain things, and I know that it moved from one end and it went right to that corner, and all of a sudden I'm feeling this nervousness, this scared, but I'm recognizing that's what it wants me to feel like. It's not the first time I felt it, but this is one of the hardest ones I ever dealt with ever, and it really made, when it was all done, it really made me question what I do. I told Steve, I think I told Steve this story more than once. I was going to hang it all up because of that, what happened in my room. It started off as a dream where I was slowly falling asleep.
Yeah.
But then I could feel it coming through the window and going up on the ceiling and going into the corner. And the shake was so bad.
Ooh.
And I had to go to work like that. And I kept getting the shake. It was so
and you can't drop that from how you're feeling. Sometimes those emotions stay with you for days.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing is sometimes you take on something else's emotions.
And he had it had malintent, like you said. It was very, very strong to make you feel negative, and it's like it's trying to break you down. Like that's terrible.
So my point to this is that like Mindy said, there's a very thin veil that I believe is between the living and the deceased, or the unknown, or the inhuman, and somehow or another we can all cross paths on that. At least I believe that, and I'm sure you girls have heard lots of stories of different ones just like mine.
Oh yeah.
But I hope I didn't freak you out too much.
No, I won't have any trouble sleeping tonight.
Just take that gummy, Brooke. Just take that gummy.
Just take that gummy and turn on The Conjuring.
Right.
Yes, that's going to be the best way to fall asleep.
So one of the questions before I get to Steve is Steve, I just have to ask these ladies a question. Is what is the most, and I'll start with Brooke first.
Okay.
What is the dream that you had that has always stayed with you throughout time that you've never forgotten about?
Oh gosh.
I'm glad you put her on the spot first. Gives me a second. Appreciate that.
Nice. I've had this dream. My parents have a pretty big backyard, and there's woods around it. And I've always had a dream where I was walking up the sidewalk to their back door, and I just knew there were 4 anacondas in the yard somewhere, and they could be anywhere, like together, completely separate. And I was always so terrified. And I just always remember taking one step up the sidewalk, and the head, it was the size of, I don't even know, a basketball bigger. And it was just sitting right on the sidewalk, and I like jumped over it, and it didn't try to attack me. But that happens every time. I'm startled by the size of the head and that it's just right there. I know it's not like
snakes. Never
that,
good.
It's not that crazy.
4 of them.
But
it's something that stays in your mind all the time.
Stays in my mind all the time. There's like that fear or that discomfort that comes with big snakes, and that there's 4, and like, what is that representing throughout my life? It could be a lot of things that I've just haven't let go of.
Do you think there's a thin line between reincarnation and our dreams?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
I
reason why,
do.
because you're mentioning that maybe something happened to you
Yeah.
in a past life that had to
Well,
deal with something like that.
let me just show you because I do have. This is not an anaconda, but I do have a thing with like snakes.
Oh,
So this is like a snake statue that I got for Christmas this year, but it's almost like I have to face my fears in order to
Yeah.
fe-
Move
get-
beyond them.
move beyond them. And so I don't know. There's a weird thing with snakes. I'm not the only one. Snakes is
Oh,
a
you
that's
got
like
that for, you got that for Christmas.
yeah.
Okay, I just want that.
Well, my family knows that I like snakes. I'm terrified of snakes, but I feel like I have to learn as much about them so I can appreciate their place like in the ecosystem, but it's not
Mhm.
making my dreams go away.
Wow. Mindy, what about you?
I tend to have a lot of dreams that are like disasters. So whether it be a plane crashing, a
Mhm.
boat sinking, fires, a lot of mine have to do with major disasters, and those are scary. But I think the ones that stick with me the most, that I think I've woken up crying, like literal tears on my faces when something's happening to my kids or
Mm.
one of my nieces. I've had dreams where this was a while ago. I mean, this must have been 10 years ago. It still sits with me. Is my two nieces were kidnapped, and there's nothing I could watch the whole thing happening. There's nothing I can do. Held at gunpoint, and I just remember the kidnapper driving off and just falling down in tears, and then waking up and just have my face soaked with that emotion.
Mhm.
So for me,
Mm.
those are the hardest ones, was something happening to someone I love and
Sure.
just not being able to, and not recognizing it's a dream either until you wake up, and that's one of those things that just sticks with you all day.
Yeah, those emotions, they run so high in those kind of dreams. See, like being a parent, you do get dreams. Like I know I've had weird dreams like
Mhm.
that too, where like I'm like, oh my god, please don't let that happen to my child, type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm gonna have Steve. Steve has such a. I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you this dream
Oh,
here, Steve. I'm just
yeah.
gonna let it go. You just do what you do, boy.
Before I go into that dream, have you guys ever had a dream where you died
I
in your
haven't.
no.
dream?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Those are the freakiest dreams
Yeah,
because
we've had a
I've had a
few people
couple of
write
them.
in with those. Yeah, it's at
Just
least,
recently,
yeah, just
actually,
recently.
we've had
I
the
have not
first.
had that.
We have neither one of us has had that, but recently we've had like maybe a handful come in over the last
Few weeks.
few
Oh
weeks
yeah.
where there's death. So we found it interesting, like what's happening? Why is there an uptick in people, actually
Yeah.
Mhm.
dying in the dream? So how about
Yeah.
Right.
you?
I
Or is
didn't
this?
think it was possible
I
to
didn't
have
think
a
so
dream and you
either.
die. But I haven't had one recently. But years ago, I had a dream that a couple of dreams that they kind of came like within weeks of each other.
Oh,
And I'm still here. Nothing
okay,
happened.
You
good.
noticed?
Um
Yay.
that I'm aware of. Maybe I'm not.
Maybe this
But
is all
I'm
Steve's ghost is
dreaming.
daydreaming.
really good at technology, by the way.
Yeah.
Very tech savvy ghost.
So I'm in my dream, I'm driving and this is how I died in each of the dreams. Okay?
Ooh, okay.
So I'm driving and the road disappears in front of me
Hmm.
and drive off into like a big fall. And I'm
Oh.
like, and as it goes in slow motion, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Is it like an
And then
Doyle's rule? A Doyle's rule, like comment?
yeah, but
Like,
but I'm like thinking to myself, who's gonna finish raising my daughter?
oh
And
God,
it's
this
like,
Oh.
last
and
one.
that's like it's more scary than the actual dying is like I
Oh
can't
yeah.
be there. Um, and it hasn't happened in a long time. And my kid's 22 now. But like when she was younger, I'd have that dream, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of what you're talking about, Minnie, where you know, something's happening to other people, but this is where it's like it reminded me. I'm like kind of jogged my memory, and like yeah, it's not a good feeling. I didn't even know you could dream that you die,
Yeah.
but it's that same feeling of like
I mean,
everybody else.
that's what they
I
say
want
is
to,
if you fall off a cliff and you hit the ground. I mean, this is what we heard growing up.
You
is if
die in
Yeah.
real
you
life.
died in your
Yeah.
you died in your sleep, and we
Right.
found out that's not the
It's not
case.
true.
It happens a lot actually to people.
So you know what? I had this
Mhm.
dream of Steve's talking about death and asking you ladies, and it
Sorry.
just occurred to me this one dream that I had is that I was shot in the head, like right in the
Oh,
middle,
yeah.
but I could feel the blood coming down.
Yep.
Oh
Your
wow.
head
That-
again.
What does
Your
that mean?
I
You
mean,
want to get
You're
ahead of something?
bleeding. You're bleeding from your head again, Neil. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, I you just said that. But no, in the dream, I get shot right in the middle of the head,
Your
and
third eye.
you could feel
Ooh,
the
Steve.
blood, like the warmness of the blood.
Mm-hmm.
I
A
mean,
I don't
warm
know,
feeling
it
in your
was
head.
that's the center. I mean, you said you're an empath. You're a very, perceptive guy. That's just shock to your system. That can be just a wake up call. It's just like
Mhm.
hey, this is a dream you need to pay attention to. There's something in your
Right.
life. When it's that sudden and that kind of impactful, or it's just like bam, sometimes it's just a way for your unconscious to say, here's a moment you need to step back and maybe analyze a few things.
Right.
Mhm.
It's
Just
like
a
going,
shock value.
listen,
Dummy.
get it through your head. Could be something like that.
Now, do either of you guys, here's a question for you. Do either of you dream journal?
I used
No.
to.
No.
Okay.
But it's like I remember the dreams
Yeah,
very
they stick.
vividly. When I was younger, I would dream journal, and I think that's kind of like what kind of developed whatever dream
Mhm.
world I have. It was I guess I got like used to it. Now I just do it. I just remember.
I love how you said it's another life for you.
It
Like
is.
that is so fascinating for
Right.
me to hear because like I've never really heard anyone explain it as that. Like, yeah, you can lucid dream in this, but for you, you've really got it. Like it is
Mhm.
a literal
I look
second
forward to
life
going to
for you.
bed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Right. I got a dream for you guys.
This
This is
Here
the
we
one
go.
you've been hyping up? Okay.
This is the most freaking weird thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. And it
I'm
was a
so
dream.
excited.
It was a dream / real kind
Okay.
of thing.
Oh,
I don't want to give it away too much. I gotta tell a story. But I also learned I gotta tell the story faster. Because
it is
Because
kind of long.
okay.
all right, so just a really quick kind of bring you back to where I was in my life. This is 1999. This is a while ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
We were just graduated high school. We were partying it up in college.
Yep, we were.
nice. I was working at a place called well, it was a travel agency.
Okay.
And I sold foreign currency. I was the foreign
Oh.
currency guy.
Interesting.
And they would put me in this like a cage, glass
Yep.
cage.
Yeah.
Like a cash, like when you go to a currency exchange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing. So they used to call me Cage Boy. And, 'cause I had to stay in the cage and I had to sell money.
You should
anyway.
not have told us that, Cage Boy.
I know, right?
Because now it's gonna
You'll never live it down with Brooke, by the way. You'll have a nickname for the rest of
Hang
your
on,
life.
I'm writing it down.
Right.
Cage
And
Boy.
Cage Boy. So back in those days, I hated that job, by the way, because you're like confined like in a little prison.
Mhm.
But anyway, this nice lady called me up and she goes, Cage Boy,
No,
I need some Egyptian money. I heard that you can get that for me. And I go, yes, sweet old lady, I can get that for you. But Egyptian pound's very volatile, so I need you to come and pick that up. Like, I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
When I call you, I need you to come in. Okay. Anyway, she never came until like for several weeks, and she'd call me every day, and we'd have this conversation. How you doing? Okay.
Hey,
Are you
Cage
really
Boy.
coming in tomorrow? Yes. So anyway, I was about to get in trouble for having this currency and holding it for this sweet old lady. And she was like 80 years old, and she's like, Egypt's the last place I've never been to. I'm so excited. Anyway, finally, she comes in, she gets the currency, and it was nice. Got to meet her, and she goes off, and whatever, life goes on. It's now Halloween night, 1999. I am sitting in front of a fire, drinking, just a few beers, but enough to go. I think I'm gonna stay at your house tonight. We were at my sister-in-law's, and her brother-in-law and I were out drinking. And so he's like, it's fine, stay in the guest room. So I do, and I go to sleep. And the dream begins.
Okay.
And I'm flying. I'm just flying over the ocean. And I can feel the cool air. I can smell the saltiness. There's like
Mhm.
fish, algae, kind of like it's just ocean air. And it's cool.
My hair goes like out to here in the ocean air. You don't want to bring
Right.
me with. Mm-mm.
I'm just like
Humidity.
flying over it. And then I look up and I see this plane in the sky. And I'm drawn to it. And so I go to it. And there
Are
is
you
a
controlling
man.
your flight? Are you controlling or was this a
I go
lucid
like
dream for you then?
wherever I put my thought, I'm
Okay.
there in a dream.
Cool.
So this is almost instant, but it is, I'm moving because I can
Mhm.
feel the whoosh, if you will, or the air flow.
Whoosh. Yes.
It's very real when this stuff happens. For me, it's a real experience. And that's why it's like a second life. So I
Mhm.
go and there's this guy, he's angry and he's like kind of like, he's alone in the cockpit and he starts to push down on the
Mm-mm.
push the
Oh.
airplane down.
Nope. Mm-mm.
And
Don't like it.
the other pilot
Mm-mm.
comes, he runs in and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he starts pulling up.
Yep.
Okay. And there's like down and up, and the plane's going down. And then kind of like it freeze frames. For those who aren't watching,
Who can't
uh,
see?
I'm making a flat surface with one hand, and the plane is like the other hand at 90-degree angle, right?
Yes.
It's like pauses right on the water. And I'm out of the plane at that point, and I have this fearful, like feeling. I look at the plane, the tail of the plane. There's like this. This never made sense to me, but it's like this pink neon A3.
Okay. A3.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know
Okay.
what that means. I never understood what that meant, but it was very important because it kept standing out. And then I go into the plane. I like kind of move through the fuselage, and it's dark. It's cold,
Mm.
and there's nobody there. And then I come out of the
What?
plane, and I look up in the sky, and there's all these people in a circle floating around
Crazy.
one guy in the middle. And he looks at me and he goes, "What is he doing here?"
Oh.
And I just
Oh.
feel like this hand reach out and
No.
grab and pull me, and I hear this cellophane wrapper static. And I
Oh.
wake up with a splitting headache and
Oh.
asthma attack. Like when he pulled me from my back. And so my lungs were just like
Ew.
like
Oh, like
tense
all the
and
air came. Oh.
yeah. And I was my wife was like, "What the hell?" Because I was like having it was
A
almost like I was
small attack, a panic attack when you woke up, I'm sure.
right.
Ugh.
And so I kind of caught my breath a little bit, still in pain, and because it was very painful to wake up from this.
Mhm.
And I told my wife everything that happened. Next morning, I did finally get to sleep. We decided. I said, "Honey, will you drive us back home?" So she does. And I immediately go right to my room and lay down. And I start to fall asleep. I have a splitting headache. It wouldn't go away.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, I hear from downstairs, "Steve!" I'm like, wake up. I'm like, she knows my head is pounding. What the hell is so important? I'm trying to get some sleep, right? She goes, "Look," and the news is on, and there is a plane crash that happened
Oh my
that
God.
night.
Oh, God.
And it was the Egyptian Air 990.
Wow.
And my customer was on that plane.
No, my God.
Later, they find the black box,
Uh,
and one of the pilots was pushing down, and the other
Yikes.
one was pulling up. Now, months had gone by, and I
Sure.
had told my wife everything that happened that night.
Wow.
And then as the things started happening, I'm convinced that I was there.
You projected. You astral projected to that
I
space and time
believe
moment.
that's what happened.
You
And
did.
that woman brought you there. She
Right.
brought you there.
Now, here's a kind of a crazy thing, because I think there's more to the
If this
story.
wasn't crazy enough, Steve.
Okay.
I'm like, I can't
Crazier.
breathe myself here.
This is
I know. I felt
19
like, I just watched
This
like
is-
the craziest movie.
this is in 1999 that this happened. Okay.
Mhm.
2 years later, I became a dad, and then a few years after that, we started looking for. This is when she was 6, right?
Mhm.
We went to this house in the area that I'm at right now. We're just looking at houses, and we got the creepiest feeling from this house.
Ugh.
Like, get out of this house, right?
Mhm.
Oh, mhm.
And then, so anyway, really creepy. I told somebody about the dream I had, and I knew the lady's name, and I told them because I live in that neighborhood now. I didn't at the time, and they go, what's really
Oh,
freaky
my God.
is she lived right across the alley from that guy, from that place, and but my daughter was like, she was like feeling very uneasy, and then somebody told me that you might have been more connected to that lady,
Yeah.
and she might have been your daughter.
Like real.
What? Oh,
Yeah. And so I was messing with my
that
daughter.
is.
I was like,
Did you
let's
name
try-
her the same?
No, I didn't name her the same.
That would be great.
But it was weird because there was some kind of connection. There's some
Absolutely.
reason that I was pulled into it. And whenever we would drive by that house, my daughter just freaks out.
Wow.
When she was little, she did not have a good
Wow.
feeling about that. So
Hmm.
I don't know what that was about. Anyway,
Oh gosh, I
yeah.
can't even begin to dive into this one.
No,
All
I
right,
think
end the
there's just
show. All right, we're done.
I think there's just moments in time that that people astral project into different dimensions,
Mhm.
different spaces in time, and I think that's plain and simple what that thing was. But that
Yeah.
woman who came in to see her cage boy was
Mhm.
just imprinted you almost.
It's
And
like,
It was
Yeah.
like an imprint that
Mhm.
lasted on to your daughter too.
yeah. And it's
Wow.
weird because and I think about Cage Boy. I never really thought about it this way, but it's so opposite of being locked in a cage when you're able to kind of like astral
Fly.
project and fly.
Yeah, you can
But
go anywhere.
whatever that was that night, I truly believe I was expelled. Like, I can't do it anymore. Nothing like that's ever happened to me again.
Wow.
well, the
And
thing
I feel
that
like
they spotted you
kicked
and
out.
said, like, what is he
Yeah,
doing here?
what's he
Like,
doing
some
here?
bigger
Like-
force brought you
like-
back.
Yeah.
That
you're not
was
supposed
what
to
got
be
me
here.
when they were all in a circle and then
It's crazy.
somebody said, "Yeah, what is he doing here?"
Yeah.
I think I know what that was in the center was.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say that it was Angel Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Archangel Michael.
yeah, something, or a collector of some kind, maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, now, didn't I tell you that is a crazy dream and it's deep?
Love
It's more than deep. I'm going to have to sit and ponder on this one because it was such a ride you took us on and you tell it so well. Don't shorten it. It's
Oh.
awesome.
No, you
How
don't
you-
understand.
It used to be really
Understand,
long
Steve.
because I started
Steve
off
is a-
like,
Steve
first
is a
I
very
met my wife,
detailed man.
and
See, like he would have talked about like the 2 coins are off in the cage and what the size.
What year
and what
they
the
were.
currency exchange
Yeah,
was that
see,
day.
I actually had to tell him, I go, this is an awesome story, dude. I go, but we've been sitting here like 20, 30 minutes.
yeah,
I go, you
It's
got to
incredible.
learn to shorten these things.
Definitely.
I don't
worth
know
it.
what the A3 meant.
That
and it
was going to be my
pink
next
neon.
question. The
I-
A3.
Yeah,
Could
And maybe
that be-
that's not. Maybe that hasn't come up in your life yet. Maybe it will.
Hmm.
or
you know,
was
it-
it her seat? Was she?
Oh,
in
if like I get on a
3A?
plane, if I get
Oh.
on a plane and I sit down in
It's in-
A3,
Yeah.
and I
Don't
know
do that.
No. You should see if you can find. You should see if you
Like-
can
The flight
find
manifest.
The,
Yeah.
whatever their seating chart was.
Yeah, the
And if
manifest.
she had A3,
That would have been crazy.
maybe.
can you
I don't know
imagine?
where I could get that though, but I could look for it.
NTSB, baby. I love that.
Where?
The NTSB. You can find so much. Or I mean, I don't know because it was a flight out of the U.S. Yeah, it probably would. They probably would have it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
1999.
Yeah.
So,
We just did a episode that just released this week that we talked about. You probably have heard about the Leonard Skinner plane crash,
Yeah,
right?
I
Everyone
listened
has.
to your episode. Yep.
Did you? Yeah. And so we talked about how one of the backup singers had a premonition dream that the plane would crash just 2 days beforehand.
Yep.
And that's why I was just on the NTSB website pulling all the information about the plane crash. And so you should check into that and see if you can
Mhm.
tie up
Okay.
Tie up the
if you
seat.
can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check
You
it
know, he
out.
wasn't the only one. The Buddy Holly one.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
That
Oh
one
yeah.
too. That they had premonitions about that one as well. The one with what was the young?
Big Bopper
Yeah,
and
all those guys.
Ricky
Richie
Valens.
Valens.
Ricky Valley, yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
or Balance, and
Mhm.
supposedly someone had some premonition about that one as well. So in dreams, can we get premonitions as well? I believe we can.
I
Yeah.
actually have had one. And here's something that happened. Must have been about 2 years ago. My niece had gone through a miscarriage, a later in pregnancy miscarriage, and lost her first pregnancy. I was thinking about her a lot, and then I had a dream of her, and it was on February 13th of let's see, it would have been 2023. Nope, 2022. And in my dream, my niece and I were in a big like entryway, like a big vestibule of a college building almost. And she walks in and she just looks at me and she says, "1 year from today." And she just walks away. And that was the message. And exactly 1 year, February 13th, 2023, she had her first born child.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
deep, man.
Yeah. It was crazy. And so it was a year. So obviously she hadn't been pregnant yet. It was
Oh
just
wow.
something that had, set something I had, I called her right away. I said, "You won't believe this." And I think I even told my husband that night, I said, "Sydney's going to get pregnant and it's going to be about a year from now." But it happened to be to the exact day.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
Yeah.
that's deep.
I remember when you told me that, I was like, what?
Just
Yeah.
some
No
weird things
way.
that just happen, man. You know, and you look back at these things and you go, "Wow, how did I have that in my mind?" See, like I had this. It's not too long ago. I think it was last summer, where my wife was telling me about a child that was missing.
Mm.
And sometimes these things they come to me, and they couldn't find this little girl, and someone was telling me, just look in the basement, just look in the basement.
Mm-mm.
So I told my wife, I said, listen, just tell her to go look in the basement. And she never told her, because we don't want to look like we're completely nuts and off our rockers, right?
Right.
And I get that, because the things that I talk about sometimes is people look at you like, oh dear Lord, what's wrong with this poor boy? So,
Yeah.
and I get that, I would too. But the lady called back to my wife because she was her supervisor, and she goes, "Oh, we found her down in the basement."
Yeah.
And I said, and my wife looked at me. She goes, "How do you?" I go, "I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know."
So
You
many things
really,
that can't be explained.
yeah, some things just can't. They really can't. You just don't know how some of these things happen.
Well, and you said
Mhm.
you're an empath, so you're sensitive to that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, maybe like the veil is thinner, like we've talked about, to
It all,
some than
it
others.
all matters what areas you go into.
Mhm.
Like you, you know what's really odd is yesterday, and I don't mean to bring it up. I know we're talking about dreams, but we were just talking about empathic things, right? So
Mhm.
yesterday, at like midnight, I turn on my ring thing just to look outside, make sure nothing is on. I had
There's
my
a black-eyed child looking
black
at
Oh
you.
God.
black.
Double lock that
All
door.
right, hold on. Before I even get into the story,
Don't invite them in.
have you
Yeah.
ever had someone send you a story about dreaming about black-eyed children? Think about
Mm,
I don't think we have yet. I mean, I've
is
heard a lot about them, but I don't know if we've got a submission from one about one yet.
is
it.
this like the new like Slender Man or Hat Man
It
type of thing
falls
that's
in that.
going
It
on?
falls in that realm, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
we're gonna start getting some black-eyed children dreams coming in pretty soon.
you
Probably.
never ever know,
Probably.
man.
Just call them BECs because just the whole idea of black
Mm.
eyed kids.
So
Mhm.
Ugh.
we were on our tour, and my daughter was on. She's like 27, 28 years old,
Mhm.
and she's she's on the tour, and we're showing the videos of black-eyed children, and she could not go to sleep that night when she went home.
Oh,
So you told
Really?
her there was a frequency that
There's
attracts
a
them.
frequency that lures them in.
ooh.
We ran some bull frequency on the bus, and going, all right, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to reach out to
Oh.
these creatures, these cryptid creatures. And I'm being all serious and stuff, It's part of the entertainment value of stuff, right? You have
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
Halloween
It
season.
gets in your mind.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm like, we're going to run this frequency. We're going to see what we can get. Maybe at the next stop, we'll come across some black-eyed children. So we're running the frequency, and my daughter's like, "Please don't do that. Don't do that."
That might be me. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So it was funny, but no. What I was saying is so yesterday, Steve, we're on here, is that I turned on my ring. It was about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 or 1 o'clock, and dude, I can hear talking outside.
Mm-mm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
who's out in
Nope.
below zero weather talking out
Oh,
there
yeah.
on my ring phone? And so I
Hmm.
go out there, and I'm like, there's nobody
Do-
here.
Do you bring anything out with you, like a candlestick, a hatchet,
The
a
candlestick,
rope, anything?
a gun,
Is this
Anything
Clue?
at all?
Is this a lead pipe?
a lead pipe, kryptonite, something.
A pit bull.
I wouldn't be opening that door without something else in my hand. That's
Oh
for
no,
sure.
I could see the camera, and I'm like this. I'm like, who is talking out here?
Hmm.
And so I go out there, and there is nobody out there, man. And I'm like this, but then I started wondering, am I picking up
Mhm.
frequencies from different things in the area from these ring phones? I don't
Well,
know.
Oh,
Doesn't sound travel further in the cold?
Maybe it
something.
does.
Okay,
But
yeah.
who the hell's out in 1 o'clock in the morning below zero weather?
Not me.
Yeah.
No.
Enough of that. We were talking about, so I just decided to bring that up. real quick.
Speaking of the paranormal stuff, Brooke and I,
Mhm.
one of our first jobs we ever had,
Mhm.
we worked together at an old bed and breakfast in Iowa. It was built in like the late 1800s, and that thing was haunted.
Mhm,
Oh,
and
yeah.
We had
that's how
plenty of
we
experiences.
kind of transitioned, well, not transition, but had both dream world and paranormal world together, because when we'd work, we'd explore the shit out of that place, and we'd
Mhm.
scream and we'd get scared, but we'd go back, and it was pictures,
Definitely
always.
some weird entities in that place. It's actually for sale if you're looking to buy a haunted mansion.
A
We're
Victorian
always
mansion.
looking to buy a haunted mansion.
Oh, like 1 mil, 1.3
I
million
think
in
it's
Dubuque,
a
Iowa.
million. I
Got
think
that.
it's a
I'm good like
million.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually, I have I'm going to reach out to you right now. How would you girls like to go to the axe murder house, of Alaska axe murder house?
Oh, I'm there.
100%.
Oh yeah.
100.
Now, the
Absolutely.
reason why I asked this
I
is
might cry, but
I think we should do an experiment, a dream experiment.
Yay! I've always wanted to do that.
actually, we have talked about
We've kind of
staying
talked
there.
about staying overnight and seeing if our dreams are affected. It'd be interesting to get a group, like how everyone feels different energies and how it might
Mhm.
affect their dreams.
Yeah.
Oh
Especially
wow.
Steve and me. We're the dreamers here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
what I'd be
Neil
worried about.
Neil and I are going to come out with these crazy dreams.
Man, you never know. So I
I
actually,
slept at the Roth House
You
not
yeah.
too
did?
long ago.
Did you have any?
I don't like
different?
to sleep in haunted places.
Neither
There
do I.
was like
I really don't.
we were at the Sally House out in
Mm.
Atchison, Kansas, and Neil's like, "I'm so tired." I'm like, "I'm not going to sleep here. I am not going to surrender my consciousness
I don't know that I could fall asleep.
where there's like a creeper
That could
running around."
run on inside and take over. I don't want
Yeah,
that.
hitch a ride,
Yeah.
But I had to sleep at at the Sally House, but the Roth House where Mary Roth's spirit and
Yeah.
all this
Wow.
stuff. Um,
Mm-mm.
and so
Because I think that Alaska X House is in Iowa, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It is.
Oh, it is in Iowa.
It's across. I think it's across the state, isn't it?
It's
Mhm.
more, I
think-
think, towards like Des Moines. It's more in the middle. I think. Of
Oh, is
state
it in
where-
the middle?
Yeah, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, that
I'm
would be
sorry,
one
Steve,
that
what
had
were
some
you saying?
spirits.
I'm sorry, Steve. Pardon me. What were you
No, I
saying?
just want to say that the dream I had that night was crazy. It
It
was
did
just
happen.
it was just darkness, but I was aware. So I'm having this dream and I'm just like in this empty thing, right? Like, but I can feel something's there.
Hmm.
And I did wake up pretty early. And I had to be I had to be quiet. So people were still sleeping.
Were you able to
and we
fall
had
back asleep, or that was it for you?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't go back to
No
sleep. I sat
chance.
up and I just like meditated. Um I did not want to surrender.
Yeah.
There's something now I don't think there's anything evil over there. Um but I do know that there is something in that
Oh
house
yeah, there's definitely something inside that house.
and
That's
I
for
wasn't
sure.
Sure.
comfortable surrendering to.
Yeah, we've been in that house,
Yeah.
and like you'll hear disembodied voices or voice of a girl inside there saying, "Hi,
Yeah.
how are you?" And we're all like, "Whoa, Oh man, wow.
Great.
Doesn't
How
make
are
it any
you?
less scary just because, like, I mean, I like where we worked at the Redstone, I never felt unsafe. Like, I don't think it was
Oh, I
that
did that one time.
one time you did, but like
Yeah,
I always
one specific room. One
one
specific
it
room.
always felt like someone was watching you. You know, the bed would go down, like someone sat down, but there was, your typical things. But I never, I was scared, but I never felt in danger. But
Yeah,
I guess
just one
maybe
time. It was enough for me never to go back into that room again. I was like, nope.
Now, for you guys, is there any place like you would? I mean, I know, like you said, I'm gonna hang it up, not doing this. But do you have like your most memorable place that you would either want to go back to or never want to go back to again to explore?
Well, Steve, do you want to? All right, I'll let Steve go first. Please.
Okay.
Well, I do know that like a lot of people who go to Bachelor's Grove
Mhm.
Cemetery, they feel compelled to go back,
Mm.
Ooh,
and
ooh, that's creepy.
and some people so much that it becomes a problem.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
we knew a guy who kind of quit his job to just hang
Wow.
out in the woods all
Just lives in the
day.
woods.
Smart guy,
Very
just
smart.
overcome by this like
Something.
desire to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There was something at Bachelor's Grove that when I first went there, I was like, oh, I want to come back. I want to explore a little bit. But I started hearing a lot of people talking about that, and I saw what was happening. I don't think I want to come back to
Yeah.
Bachelor's Grove.
Yeah.
Next time it may
Um,
be a little stronger for you, that desire to go back.
right.
Yeah.
And
And the thing is, you have to recognize that this is a desire. Is like there's been a couple of houses that we've gone to, and there's one that always is still clicking in my head, and that's that Monroe house.
I'm not going back to Monroe House.
Yeah, we
I'm not.
we had it where one of the EVPs that we caught, it goes like this. It goes kneel and then pause. Please, kill, kill, kill.
Oh no.
Oh,
We're like
no.
this. You were like this. We're like, oh wait.
Oh no.
Yep.
And
Don't go back, please.
Yep.
Well, no, I am actually because we're going to start doing tours out of there.
Mm.
I
I'm
already
not
just talked to
going.
the owners.
Steve's like, I'm
Seems
out.
like
I'm out.
me.
I know
doing it.
Steve's not going to go. I'm going to have someone else hired as a tour guide that night. He's going to be doing the Monroe House in October.
Wow.
Yeah, I let a little cat out of the bag on that one, but it's all
Hey, we
good.
won't tell, and we'll be there probably.
Yes, let us know.
I mean, we love doing that. Is that cemetery? Is that the one down by Archer Avenue? No, is that the other?
It's
You're
off
thinking of Resurrection. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Sorry.
no, that's
Bachelor's is on the
143rd.
Turnpike. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Got it. Got it.
But for me, what would be one that's outstanding? That's what you asked, right?
Yeah, an outstanding one or one you'll never go back to.
It's not that I wouldn't go back to any one of them, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I think the most outstanding one is energy wise was definitely the Sally House. I talk a lot about it.
Mhm.
There's two entities inside that house, and what they do is they try to get into you through the back end of your neck,
Oh.
and that's how they try to get inside for someone like myself. And what you do is you then, when they're getting into you, you feel their who or what they are, and you feel their emotions.
Do you think it would help if you wore like armor or something where your neck wasn't exposed? Like anything, like a baseball helmet with some pads. I mean, I'm
on
just trying to
football
prepare
gear.
when I go.
I put like aluminum foil hat on.
Yeah. Really thick blanket, scarf, something.
A scarf. You just need to wear a scarf. They
Double it
can't
up.
get
Yeah.
through it.
Can't get me. Oh,
Just rub some
That whole
holy
town-
water on it.
That whole town of Atchison is not creepy. I don't want to say the whole town's creepy. That's mean. They're nice people. Super cool people. Actually, some
they're
of the
the
coolest
nicest
people.
people. So nice.
But it's haunted. The
we went to their
town
hotel. We
is
stayed at their
haunted.
hotel. We stayed at their hotel. We filmed in there as well. And we
Yeah.
got a boy who died inside of a pool, and we were getting response.
Wow.
Right.
Oh, it's
Beautiful.
crazy, man.
And then Amelia Earhart.
Yeah,
museum.
her museum is right around the block
Oh.
from the haunted
Oh,
house.
Wow.
Twofer, huh? Make
Hey,
a
maybe
trip there.
Steve, maybe you can astral project backwards and find out what happened.
Maybe.
Never
Maybe
know.
I'm only been expelled from future
Yeah,
events.
Yes.
maybe that's it.
Maybe you can
We can
still
figure
There
go
might be a
back.
loophole.
He's gonna start working on it tonight. He's
Kenya,
like,
Yeah.
"Hey,
let us know.
find the loophole."
All right, girls. So we're gonna start closing out in a second. I want to say thank you very much for coming on.
Well,
That's
thank you.
Mindy and
Oh my
Brooke from
gosh.
Remelations. What is going on with you girls that you'd like to promote?
Well, we are doing the Dark Matters Podcast Festival again, coming up here February 24th in Elgin. So that's a lot of fun. Get to see a
That's how
lot
we
of.
met you guys.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
gotta be fun.
it's got to be fun. This is where we met you guys. So we've got that coming up.
Yeah, and if you guys want to follow us, you can find us. We're everywhere at Remelations on socials or remelations.com. If you have any dreams to submit, dream stories, we want to hear them.
Yeah.
Yes.
The girls are very entertaining and they keep you entertained, number one.
Well, thank
listened
you.
no problem. No problem. But I want to once again thank you very much for taking your time out to talk with us
Loved
tonight. And
it.
I think this was just wonderful conversation today. It was just
Had a
really
great time. Really
yeah,
did.
and I really love the idea of maybe us getting together and do this idea
Absolutely.
that I have and do an experiment to that.
I'm
Sign us up.
100% in. We're in.
All right.
I'm wearing my armor, but I'm going to be there.
I'm gonna wear a scarf and she's gonna wear her armor,
ready.
but I'm in.
We're in. Steve, you got anything to say before we're out?
I'll see you guys.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
I don't know.
Soon.
Your dream. No, I don't
You're
know.
not
What would Freddie-
in your dreams.
In your dreams. No.
Yeah.
I'll be at that crazy haunted place in your dreams. I don't
Oh,
know about
boy.
the
Wait.
ice house.
I'll tell
Honestly,
you don't
it-
belong here, and then I'll just shove you out.
Get out.
It's
Yeah.
gonna take some. It'll take some convincing for me to go out to a really like the X house, murder house. But I might do it if you
Okay.
ladies are there. I'll probably come along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with all that being said, as usual, boo.
Boo.